Riddles are fun. They make us think. They make us wonder. Some riddles are easy, some riddles are hard. But all riddles are enjoyable. They challenge our brains. They make us use our imagination. Riddles come in many forms. Some use words, some use pictures, some use both. No matter the form, riddles are a great way to have fun. They are a great way to learn. Look at this face. What's wrong with it? It looks normal, right? But something is off. Faces are fascinating, aren't they? They are the first thing we notice about someone, and they convey so much information. But sometimes our brains can play tricks on us. Turn the picture upside down. Now you see it. The eyes and mouth are in the wrong place. This phenomenon is known as the Thatcher effect. When a face is upside down, our brains struggle to process the features correctly. The eyes and mouth are in the wrong place. This distortion is not immediately obvious when the face is inverted, but it becomes glaringly apparent when the face is right side up. It's a striking example of how our perception can be easily fooled. Our brains are used to seeing faces a certain way. We are so accustomed to the typical arrangement of facial features that any deviation can be jarring. This is because our brains have developed specialized mechanisms for face recognition. When we see something different, it takes us a moment to notice. This delay happens because our brains are trying to reconcile the unusual arrangement with what we know to be a normal face. It's a fascinating process that highlights the complexity of our visual system. This is because our brains take shortcuts. These mental shortcuts, or heuristics, help us process vast amounts of information quickly. They are essential for our daily functioning, allowing us to make rapid decisions without being overwhelmed by details. They try to make sense of the world quickly. However, these shortcuts can sometimes lead to errors. In the case of face perception, our brain's reliance on these heuristics can result in us missing obvious distortions when a face is inverted. Sometimes these shortcuts fool us. Optical illusions and visual tricks exploit these mental shortcuts, revealing the limitations of our perception. They remind us that what we see is not always an accurate reflection of reality. Our brains are powerful, but they are not infallible. Try to roll your tongue. Can you do it? Some people can, some people can't. It's all in your genes. Genes are like instructions. They tell our bodies what to do. Now close your eyes, have someone touch you with one finger, then have them touch you with 2 fingers. Can you tell the difference? It's harder than you think. This is because our sense of touch isn't perfect. It can be fooled. Section 4, Holes and Perspectives. How many holes does a t-shirt have? Think carefully. At first glance you might say it has just 1 or 2. But let's delve deeper. It's not as simple as it seems. The more you think about it, the more complex it becomes. There are the obvious holes, the neck, the sleeves, and the bottom. These are the ones we notice immediately. But what about the hole for your head? This is another hole that is essential for the t-shirt to function as intended. And the holes for your arms, these are crucial too. Without them, the t-shirt wouldn't be wearable. Perspective matters. The way we see things depends on our point of view. What seems simple at first can reveal hidden complexities upon closer inspection. Sometimes we need to look at things from a different angle. By changing our perspective, we can uncover new insights and understandings. We need to think outside the box. This means challenging our assumptions and being open to new ways of seeing and thinking. Consider a t-shirt with multiple holes. Each hole has a purpose, whether it's functional or decorative. The same applies to our perspectives. When designing something, we must consider all aspects and viewpoints. This holistic approach leads to better and more innovative solutions. In the end, it's all about perspective. By embracing different viewpoints, we can create something truly unique and meaningful. Section 5, Hidden in Plain Sight. Can you find the hidden bird? Look closely, it's there, but it's blending in with its surroundings. Our brains are good at finding patterns, but sometimes, patterns can hide things. We need to pay attention to detail. We need to look for the unexpected. Section 6, Spot the double trouble. Read this sentence. Can you spot the double word? Did you notice it? The word "the" is repeated. We often miss these kinds of errors. Our brains are so focused on the meaning, they skim over the details. This is why proofreading is important. We need to slow down. We need to read carefully. Otherwise, we might miss something important. Section 7, Lines and Illusions. Which line is longer? They look different, don't they? This is a classic example of the Muller-Lyer illusion where 2 lines of the same length appear to be different because of the arrowheads at the ends. But they are actually the same length. When we measure them, we see that there is no difference at all. This illusion plays with our perception, making us question what we see. This is an optical illusion. It tricks our brains into seeing something that isn't there. Optical illusions are fascinating because they reveal the ways our brains process visual information. Our brains rely on context. They use the information around an object to judge its size and shape. This is why the same object can look different depending on its surroundings. They use the information around an object to judge its size and shape. For example, a line might look longer or shorter depending on the lines or shapes around it. This contextual information helps us navigate the world, but it can also lead to errors in perception. Sometimes this information can be misleading. Funhouse mirrors are a great example of this. They distort our reflection, making us look taller, shorter, wider, or thinner than we really are. Similarly, confusing road signs can make it difficult to judge distances or directions accurately. Our brains can be tricked. When the information we rely on is misleading, it can cause confusion and make us question our perceptions. This is why optical illusions and puzzles are so intriguing. They challenge our understanding of reality. Riddles are a fun way to challenge our brains. They make us think outside the box and consider different perspectives. When we solve a riddle, we often have to look at the problem from a new angle, which can be both challenging and rewarding. They make us think differently. Brain teasers and puzzles encourage creative thinking and problem-solving skills. They push us to use our brains in new ways and can even improve our cognitive abilities over time. They make us see the world in new ways. When we engage with riddles and puzzles, we start to notice patterns and connections that we might have missed before. This heightened awareness can enhance our appreciation of the world around us. So next time you see a riddle, don't be afraid to give it a try. It might seem challenging at first, but the process of solving it can be incredibly satisfying. Plus, it's a great way to keep your mind sharp and engaged. You might be surprised at what you discover. Whether it's a new way of thinking or a deeper understanding of how your brain works, engaging with illusions and puzzles can be a rewarding experience. So go ahead, challenge your brain, and see the world in a whole new light.